Come on in the room. Come on in the room. The Bucks lose, fall to 0-3 in the Summer League, 112-97 to the Los Angeles Clippers. Come on in the room. It's the Guru Trey Crosby III,
Chris King.
the Cream City crossover. And let's talk about these performances that you saw from the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Again, they're 0-3 to Summer League. Clearly, this roster it is not giving what it's supposed to give. They're undersized. They're having issues shooting the ball. But there have been some good individual performances, some bad ones as well. And let's look at it from a Bucks perspective. Don't really want to look at what the Clippers did. Of course, just inconsequential. Doesn't matter. Andre Jackson Jr. gets hurt 5 minutes into the game. He doesn't really play at all. Had a big bandage around his hand. Not sure what's up with that. But you get 22, 4 and 4 from AJ Johnson, right? 9 of 18 from the field, shooting 50%. 3 of 5 from three, which is pretty big. And only one turnover tonight from AJ Johnson. He looks crisp, looks like a guy who, again, and I don't know if he's going to be able to contribute. I really don't know if he's going to be able to contribute to the Milwaukee Bucks day one, year one, but he's smooth, gets in and out of transition. He's fast, fluid, like all of the things that you didn't know you were getting to see. Like I put it like this, I see John Horse's vision. Like we see it. Then you look at Chris Livingston, 13 points, 12 boards, 5 assists. And then I think Ryan Rollins, another guy playing very well, 24 and 4. Your issue, though, if you're a Bucks fan, the guy who people wanted to contribute, the guy who should be ready to contribute in year three, Marjon Beauchamp, 6 points, 6 assists, 3 boards, 2 and 9 from the field, 1 and 4 from three. And I just don't know. Like, where are you on Marjon? Are you out on him completely? Because here's the thing: I've seen Marjon go to the G League, right, and dominate. Like he looks like he looks like he's too good for the G League, and so you have a Marjon who's at like this kind of weird place. Like I look at AJ Johnson, I go, okay, he goes to the G League. This should be exciting. This should be fun, high tempo, high energy. Going to be a fun player to watch out in Oshkosh. Marjon Beauchamp is like the opposite, where like he's already proven that he goes to G League and there's no comp. So it's like it's almost a point where he's too good for the G League, but he's not good enough to crack an NBA rotation, at least not in Milwaukee to do what they need him to do. I guess I'm asking you, Chris, where are you on Marjon Beauchamp? You've seen AJ Johnson now for 3 games. What are you looking at? Any surprises? Like what are you seeing from this Milwaukee Bucks summer league team?
Yeah, so from what I'm seeing is just like there is no continuity on this team. They just don't know how to play good basketball, and that's a problem when you're running into 3 teams who actually are playing good team basketball. And so it's kind of frustrating to watch. I'm actually glad we didn't do a post game to the second game they played against the Cavs because that was just a beatdown. But yeah, I mean, when you talk about Marjon, I think this is a dilemma we've been having for really as long as we've been doing this post-game show, right? Because we had the same thing last offseason with Marjon Beauchamp. He might have one good game in Summer League, and then he might go for 5 points the next night. And he just keeps going back and forth with these good performances. And then the next night, he doesn't have so much of a good performance, or he's just not aggressive enough, not confident enough to make a statement, right? This is year 3 in the Summer League, and I'm not seeing anything different from Marjon, and I should be. And, you know, it feels like he might be at a disadvantage when we say that, hey, you should be dominating when he has a good game. But that's just the reality of it. It's the reality of the NBA. You take a look at tonight, Ryan Rollins was great. Why won't we give him a spot over Marjon at this point? Those are all questions that are very valid, and so there's really nothing unfair when it's evaluating year 3 of Marjon Beauchamp in the summer league. I don't know. I think us, you know, me, you, and JT have been talking about how Marjon is going to continue to, you know, progress, and it's not seeming like there's anything that's going on behind the scenes, or he's really gotten instilled with confidence that he can be a great player for the Bucks, or be an impact player. Maybe a change. Maybe it's time for a change.
Yeah, so are you out completely? Like when you see Marjon Beauchamp, is that a guy who do you think he can contribute at all, or yeah, like you said, do you see need a change of scenery? Do you see him this year, like based on what you've seen in three summer league games out in Vegas? Do you see a guy that's ready to come in and will be able to at some point be a contributor? Because that's the like I
Mhm.
do see the intangibles. Like he
Yeah.
has the length. Like it's there. It just doesn't all flow. It doesn't all come together. What's the problem?
So the problem is, Trey, is the Bucks are answering this question for us. They go sign Gary Trent Jr., which we'll have another
Mhm.
video on and we'll talk about. But that's around that 2-3 spot that Marjon is aiming to play at. And then also Doc Rivers comes on the broadcast and says, I don't know if he has the quick decision making to play with Giannis and Dame and Chris again.
Yeah.
So they're answering that question for you, Trey. I think it is time, and we start to give some of these young guys looks. And then lastly, you touched on AJ Johnson. Look, I'm super impressed with I love watching the kid. I think it's crazy seeing him have so much energy on every possession, right? That's what you want to have out of somebody who's 19 years old and has a ton of basketball ahead of him. So I'm super excited about the young guys that we do have. Tyler Smith didn't have particularly a good game tonight, but there's still some bright spots. You can see it, but there's also some things that we can work on, and that's why John Horst actually getting a veteran like DeLon Wright and those type of guys, and then also going and getting younger and getting a playable player right away. It gives me more confidence in the fact that, okay, I do see the vision, right? They're just going for young players who they can develop into being good players, and that's my impression of AJ Johnson as well. I'm loving it.
Let's go to Chris Livingston for a second. Again,
Mm-hmm.
13, 12, and 5 tonight. A hustle player, a guy that gets all over the floor. I had a Twitter discussion with a Bucks fan tonight about him, and he's kind of giving me, well, he's a slasher. He does all these things. Here's what I see for Chris Livingston. He's a hard worker, and I think that he's a hustle player. I think somebody in Twitter said dirty work. He does some of those things. The question I have for Chris Livingston is, how does it translate into the NBA? I don't think it translates. I don't think he's going to get on the floor really this year. I don't think this is a year for him. But where does he line up as far as being an NBA player? Do you see it? Again, I do see some of the skill set there. I just wonder if it's going to be enough. Like, can he be? I think what the things that people told me on Twitter, I think, yeah, you want him to be a switchable player, a slasher with some decent vision who can also bring the ball up the court and rebound well for his size. Like, he does all that, but again, will it and it translates a bit in the summer league to a glue guy. Again, those are the 13, 12, 5. You can get some of those numbers. How does it look in the NBA? Like, can you get to where you're in the NBA and you're a 15-minute role player, legitimate minutes, impact minutes in the NBA? I think the issue is going to be offensively for him. Can he knock down a shot? Yes, he's got to be more consistent. But yeah, he's got to do a lot of dirty work, but he's just got to find a way to like mirror those summer league performances into a regular season NBA game. I just have a hard time seeing it all come together right now. But definitely there's some talent there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see in Chris Livingston?
Yeah, so I think actually I do like his energy, but it's something that just doesn't stand out particularly well to me. Like when I watch these games, Chris Livingston is just not really sticking out. Those rebounds. Yeah, they might look good on the stat sheet, but those could be long rebounds where he's just cleaning them up. And this is very sloppy basketball, guys. So what could look like an effort play could really just be some stupid mistake somebody else made. And so, I have to see it, not in blowouts, maybe not in practice, but in games that might matter, or early on in games, and maybe a first half of a game early on in the year, like something like that. Because I have nothing to go off of right now. There's he's just playing against a bunch of summer league guys, or at the end of games. Last year he was just getting thrown in because we were down by 30, up by 30. So it's it's difficult for me to gauge. But I do like his jumper. I think he can shoot the ball pretty well. His jumper looks good to me from what I've seen. So maybe if he's able to really become a good defender and maintain that shot and still have the effort, then I think he might be able to become a role player. But that's least of my concerns right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I look at him and again, I see some of it, but again, it's much different when you're
Hmm.
defending wing players at the summer league level
Yeah.
versus what that looks like in the NBA, and will you truly be serviceable in that capacity. But yeah, that's where we are at the Milwaukee Bucks right now. 0-3. I don't expect a big run once. What is it? Is it a double elimination or a single elimination? However, the elimination style.
Hmm.
Once you get out of this bracket play or pool play, whatever it is in summer league, and get to actual bracket play, I think the Bucks are gonna be a quick exit. Like you said, they just don't play well together. But
Yeah.
again, it has been fun watching AJ Johnson in particular. And again, the development of Marjon Beauchamp still a question that remains to be seen. Bucks lose it tonight, late night. It's late for us too, but this video will come out some point tomorrow. It's 112, so it'll be today. Well, you know what I'm saying. It's late. I'm sorry, folks. 112-97, the Los Angeles Clippers beat the Milwaukee Bucks. This has been the Groove with Trey Crosby III,
Chris King.
all with the Cream City crossover. Back with more.